Hi. Once again, I have some shit to say. Okay, how do I start this? I am really sick, really nauseous to my little tummy about how people interact with beauty as a concept. This is low-key gonna be a rant on pretty privilege, but honestly, not really, because I think it goes deeper than that. It's not just beauty politics, like as a whole, does not just encompass humanity. It encompasses it's a worldview. It is a lens through which you see everything. And I don't think people realize that when they have beauty standards and beauty politics ingrained into their mind. It's so insidious that you can barely even tell that it's there. You're like, oh yeah, that's just my taste. That's just my taste. Where did your taste come from? Have you ever sat and analyzed the actions you have taken in your life, or the things that have happened to you that have led you to this point where you hold a certain opinion about beauty? Background on me for the very small amount of credibility that I have. I was anorexic in high school for about 3 to 4 years, and I never got to the point where I was like fucking skeletal, but you know what? I was like the heroin chic standard that we have today, I would say. And in the course of a little less than a year, I gained all that weight back. This was after I had dropped out of college for the first time before I re-entered college. And during this time, I got on some medication, and I was previously trying to recover from anorexia. I was getting to my final, point of being close to recovery, and then medication just kind of did it for me. So as a result, I carry weight kind of like a starving infant. I've got very, twiggy arms, and, ass is fat, doesn't stand up, though, and, stomach a little bit pregnant, okay? So, and on top of that, I got fucking trichotillomania. I shaved the top here, but if you can see the back, fuck, where it's not growing back as well. And on top of that, I gotta wear these big-ass glasses that make me look like I have interdimensional fucking eyeballs. And, I had really bad acne in high school, too. Just trust me, okay? In this period where I was coming out of anorexia, I became a horrific beast. Bald, chubby, looking dehydrated, looking dry. Horrid acne. Losing my fucking hair. And it wasn't even cut in, a satisfying way like it is now, where I'm kind of trying to work with it. Okay, so I went from being the beauty standard to being garbage in the span of a year. Because of that, I am keenly fucking aware of the difference in the way that ugly people are treated versus beautiful people. If you have always been generally attractive and have never, experienced the other side, you need something to open your eyes, bro, because I did. And I really believe that the majority of people that have intense, restrictive or, want to be skinny type eating disorders, or people that are naturally the beauty standard, I'm gonna say something controversial, and please do not take it personally, because I was you if you are that, attractive person, okay? I was there with you. But I'm gonna speak just for people with anorexia, I guess, because that's my experience. I was never, born the standard. But you are constantly, looking around, sizing people up, being like, who's the skinniest person here? Who's the prettiest person? Who has the best hair? Et cetera. And even though, in your heart, you're not condemning these people that you're putting lower than you in the hierarchy, but that doesn't really matter, because functionally, that's what you're doing. You're filtering the people you want to interact with for aesthetic gain. You're subconsciously, well, this person looked good next to me. Well, I look good next to this person comparatively. And because of that, you're picking friends that always have to be a step lower than you. Just a little bit bigger than you. Just a little uglier. And whenever that friend or those friends start to have a bit of a glow up or whatever, you feel resentment, don't you? I did back then, and I hated it. I was disgusted with myself. But way too many fucking people do not question that, and are just like, oh, she's just so uppity. If you think other people are uppity, a lot of the time, if you think that other people have big egos and that's your baseline, it's like most people around me have such big egos, it's probably you with the big ego. I hate to break it to you, but nobody else really, on average, is thinking about other people's opinions of themselves, okay? If somebody else is joyful and has a good life and has good clothes and is skinny naturally and has long, beautiful hair or whatever, they didn't do anything wrong by being born that way. Of course, they reap a lot of benefits, and it's good that, like, to try to get those people to be aware of the privilege that they do have, but just by simply existing in their form does not make them a threat to you. You know what I'm saying? You need to purge that. The one thing you should be purging, bitch. Anyway, what I think keeps people trapped in the, in that pattern of, like, comparing and trying to be better. You're not being better, you're getting sicker. You're getting sicker, and it shows in your attitude. It shows how you're apathetic and you don't have the energy to care for anybody else. You don't have the energy to care for yourself. And people see that. They see that you're getting skinnier, but they also see that you're getting sicker. And I know that that's something that a lot of people want, is to appear sick. I did too. But it's not in a we feel sorry for you way. I promise you that. Especially if you're in, like, a school setting. The majority of people are not feeling sorry for you. The majority of people are not thinking of all the work that you do to get to where you are. They're thinking, oh, that girl is not stable. I should probably avoid her. Or, oh, that guy's not stable, that person, whatever. Because that was also me. I got accused of being a school, gunner. I'll say gunner. Maybe that's not censored. I had that reputation because I was skinny and I wore black, okay? This is so off topic of what I actually wanted to talk about. I don't know if anybody with, like, fucking anorexia or bulimia is gonna watch this and be like, oh, you're right, by God, you got it, you've changed my ways. I doubt that. But, you know, plant seeds. All that time you spend looking at Finspo, you could be looking at things that could actually help you. I'm just saying. Here's the core of my issue. I am 100% for individual, full, entire bodily autonomy. Like, I think you should be able to yourself and it not be an issue. My issue is that people don't think. People don't use their logic and their brains because obviously they're sick in these states. And the less you eat and the more you deprive yourself, the worse your thought function is going to become and the harder it is going to be to get out of that thought pattern, because you don't have the fucking faculties, you don't have the nutrients and the fucking flow up to your head, bro, to think. And the prevalence of, like, how when you look on your phone and you look on TV, it's all people that are, like, stupid skinny. It's gonna fuck with your brain and it's gonna feed into that. And because of that, this is what I want to talk about. We need to fucking expand our idea of what beauty encompasses. Here's an example that I fucking typed out on my Instagram story that nobody read. This is why I have this fucking channel. So, people like flowers, they like butterflies, they like ladybugs, they like all the cute things, all the pretty things, right? But people that plant flowers to appreciate their beauty will spray unneeded pesticides on these flowers to get rid of the insects that eat them. Unaware, aware, I don't know, just being willfully stupid, spraying pesticides that will also get rid of the fucking butterflies that you love, right? By taking away an aspect that you consider ugly, you are also deleting an aspect that is beautiful to you. People also will, like, cover the soil in their flower beds with, like, pebbles and shit, which make it harder for the flowers to grow. I know that like, can, like, retain water or whatever, but the way that people do it, where it's, like, right up to the stem so that you don't see any of that nasty, dirty dirt, so you know that this flower is intentional. This flower is not natural. This flower is here for beauty. This flower is here for our enjoyment, not the insects and not the nature. If you expand your idea of what is beautiful, you can grow to see that, like, the patterns that these bugs chew through the leaves of your flowers are kind of fucking cool. They're kind of, like, beautiful. And the bugs themselves that make these holes in your flowers and the leaves and, like, dig around, they're also beautiful. They're also bringing nutrients to the flower. Like, they're also pollinating as they eat. It's not just the fucking butterflies and the bees. Like, anything that touches that flower and moves around to other flowers can do that, right? All vital for the ecosystem, unless you, like, know that the pest is invasive. That is the one exception. But obviously, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about things on an aesthetic level, right? And if you're doing all this work to make sure your flower bed looks absolutely prim, pristine, proper, perfect, you are missing out on all that other beauty that you refuse to acknowledge, and also destroying part of it, hiding it. Why? People tend to like flowers because obviously they are visually beautiful. I say obviously, but that is something that humanity has collectively chosen over and over and over again and passed down, which is why we have this one standard of beauty for flowers. Flowers are beautiful, right? If you start to form that process for things that are not considered widely beautiful, and you start to implant that in your head, it works. It works, and it will make your life so much more whimsical. Another reason we like flowers and consider them beautiful is because in their function, they are beautiful. They perform good acts, right? They smell nice. They look nice for our enjoyment. Bumblebees go when they get the pollen and they make honey for our enjoyment. But little appreciation is given to, right, the dirt. The flower wouldn't be there without the dirt. The dirt is so interesting. There's so many things that live in the dirt, so many nutrients, like ways that the dirt has traveled and gotten to where it is. Also, a flower can bloom from it. Like, that's amazing. That's awesome. But nobody sits there gushing about dirt the way they do a flower. If you look closely at dirt, the way that, like, as a kid, when you would sit in front of the static of your TV and you would watch and see if you could pick out any little, like, figures, like watching the clouds and seeing figures in that and shit. If you go and you really observe a pile of dirt, I'm so dead ass, go find some fucking dirt and get real up close to it and just look at it for as long as you can. Focus on it. And just, like, see what you see, man. It's, like, it's so much more interesting than a flower to me because there's so many intricacies. And just dirt, bro! When you learn the function of different types of dirt, what makes different types of dirt unique and what they're good for, what they do for everything around them, you can start to appreciate dirt the way you appreciate a flower because its function is beautiful. And if you really sit and make yourself look at it the way that you naturally look at a flower, you will find beauty. You can look at anything in the world, anything, no matter how horrific, no matter how fucking nasty and gross. If you sit there and ponder it and look at it, you will find beauty. Beauty is fucking, like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You do not have to search for it. You just have to be open to it. You know what I mean? And so many people are so shut off to anything ugly. This causes, like, issues for people, too. Like, ugly people are treated different. When I was beautiful, people held the door for me. People smiled at me. More people came up and had conversations with me. I got compliments on my outfits, by the way. I wear the exact same type of outfits. I don't get compliments anymore because the body that the clothes are on is not beautiful. The difference is extreme. People will, like, mean mug me in public. Reasons? I don't know. That didn't happen to me when I was pretty. And it extends to global issues. You see somebody across seas that's struggling, bone thin with their belly protruding because they're fucking starving. And you might get a tinge of, this makes me uncomfortable, this makes me feel guilty. But the majority of the time, most people aren't going to do anything because those people are not relatable. They do not match our American or Western idea of, like, a human being. And so subconsciously, people will see these aid ads and shit online and have the same mentality that they have when they see the sad puppy commercials from, like, the early 2000s with the, in the arms of the angels. Anyways, ugliness, the perception of ugliness only leads to disgust and pity. And we need ugliness. Like, we need to perceive ugliness. Looks like we need to perceive beauty. That, well, don't think of yourself as ugly. Just think of yourself as there. It doesn't work that well. it doesn't work that well because you cannot just shut off a part of your brain that has like always been there and has always been fed and developed throughout your whole life. What you have to do is you have to go to that fucking part of your brain and consciously decide what you think should be beautiful and should be ugly. You can make like a scoring system for it if you want even. I know this is like too logical for most people, but I'm fucking autistic. Method you want, just expand your beauty ideas, please, please, please. Doing this too is just being extremely overeducated, like as educated as you possibly can be. And I don't mean this in like a schooling sense, although like if that's the route you want to take, that is a great route. Sometimes depending on the school. But I mean just like go online and find like scientific articles and shit. Excuse me again. I've been chugging my water and puffing my vape. Every time I want to make a video like this, I sit down and I'm like, I really don't want to write a script. Like, that's so boring. That just feels like schoolwork to me. I just want to have fun. And then I sit down and I film the video and I realize I make no sense. Like, the lines that I follow, the order in which I say things, I'm sorry to anybody that tries to fucking comprehend this shit. Aside, but back on my, like, initial rant. With the flowers and dirt shit, like, another example is, like, it's honestly, fuck. It's like people that will go on a vacation to like some foreign tropical place, right? And appreciate, like, oh, it's so beautiful here. Look at all the nature, right? Or they'll go online and they'll make mood boards, like with like pretty rivers and lakes and trees and flowers and fuck all that shit. But then they'll go out in their own backyard and they'll be like, ugh, this is so ugly. And they'll like spend so much time mowing and pruning and trimming and planting and weed eating and spraying pesticides, and when you don't need to do any of that. The grass is grass, bro. Grass is gonna grow how grass grows. Why do you want to control it? Is it really that big of a deal? Is it really that fucking big of a deal? Why does everything in your life have to be so aesthetic? You're not a brand. You're a human being. You are a person. When you get a stain on your clothes, that doesn't mean, oh, it's time to go, like, buy another identical piece of clothing. It means, like, oh, it's time to, like, fucking mend over it, patch over it, bleach it, paint over it, do something, or just leave it. I leave it all the time. My clothes are stained to fucking bad because I like to paint and I like to do art and shit. And it doesn't bother me because when I look at the stains on my clothes, I remember the times I was taking part in my passion and I was having a great time. I was in my element and I didn't care about my surroundings. I was zoned the fuck in and I was having an awesome time. And not enough people have things like that where they can appreciate the vibe more than the appearance. People want to be cottagecore and wear their cottagecore dresses and have their little wheat field and shit, but nobody actually wants to go out there and toe the field. You can't toe the field in an ankle length, heavily layered dress and fucking tight ass stockings. You can't do that. It's not realistic. And if you do that, you're gonna fucking jack up your shit. And if you're in the mindset of everything has to be this vibe is so important to me, this aesthetic, this is me, then those stains and shit on your clothes are gonna bother you. And you're gonna have to buy another one and another one if you're actually living this lifestyle. Which most of the time, people that follow these aesthetics, they're not living these lifestyles. They're playing dress up. And there's nothing wrong with playing dress up, okay? But when it becomes something that encompasses everything, you don't have a sense of self outside of the curated energy that you want to put out into the world. That's not good. You should have some time as your ugly, authentic self to ponder your ugly, authentic self. And I say ugly because deep down, everybody has something that is ugly. Nobody in the world actually matches the beauty standard. And the people that do are constantly getting surgeries and revisions and constantly getting on new diets and shit. It's never ending. There is no goalpost. You will be pushing that fucking boulder up the hill for eternity. You don't have to. You do not have to do that. Like, okay, for instance, hang on. You see these holes in my curtain? These holes? My cat likes to scratch my curtain. And, I could just get a new curtain that doesn't have any holes in it. These aren't showing up as well. There's holes all over this thing, trust. They're not all showing up. I could be like, oh, there's holes in my curtain. Pff, gotta get a new curtain. That's like ugly. Like, that's, who wants holes in their curtain? But when I look at those, what I see is my cat was having a good time. In my room next to me, she was playing, she was goofing off, she was sharpening her claws, she was being a cat, and I love her. I love everything about her, and I love what she does. And so this on my curtains is not a big deal to me. I think it's beautiful. And when you look at it and there's light on the other side, it looks like a little constellation. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking shitting me? That is adorable. And she's a black cat too, so it matches her vibe. Over here, on top of this thing, I have a pile of scraps that from like previous old clothes and clothes that are broken and ripped. Fuck, I'm out of breath. Fucking old ass clothes. And under here, this big ass box full of my old clothes that I don't fit anymore and a bunch of scrap fabric. Trash, right? Just a bunch of trash for the landfill. No, I'm actively mending and reworking all of these things so that I can still wear them. Because when something becomes something that it wasn't when it was manufactured, that is not a con to me. That is proof that it was lived in and loved. Here's what I mean when I say, like, reframe your perception of beauty or expand it. So when I was in high school, I really wanted to fit the goth image. Like, I was obsessed, everything about it. Like, I had to be wearing black every day. I pretty much only listened to goth music, real goth music. And I, like, even in my attitude, I was always like, hey guys, what's up? It was cringe. It was weird. Nobody perfectly fits into a stereotype like that. And while, like, throughout high school, kind of, I always latched onto goth, but I would cycle through different things, right? As most people in high school do. But I eventually came to the realization, like, the aesthetic that I follow can simply just be me-core, bro. Like, me-core, me vibe, my aesthetic. And anything can be in that because it's just what I decide, right? And it's so freeing because you don't, like, I used to think, like, well, if I stop doing all this subculture shit, like, I'm just gonna be normal like everybody else and I won't be special anymore and nobody will pay attention and nobody will find me interesting and I won't find myself interesting, blah, 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 blah. In reality, all I needed was to start appreciating in an aesthetic sense everything that I already had and did and do. And when you do that, you're happier. You're just generally so much happier. It's literally like that thing that like practice being thankful. It's kind of like that, but less like, oh, you bad person, you're not being grateful enough. It's more like you just realize, like, look at all this shit around me. This shit's so, like, how did I accumulate this? And how did I end up in this spot? Like, the trees outside, just regular fucking trees that grow in fucking the south of the US, right? You see them everywhere. But every one is special. Every one is special if you go and observe its bark and its leaves. If you climb them, they're all a different climbing experience. Like, it's just so much. There's so much beauty there that goes unappreciated because it doesn't fit into a certain vibe. Don't get me wrong, there are still things I do not want in my vibe, in my aesthetic. And that's fine to do. It's fine to curate. As long as it doesn't become unnatural and stressful and consume everything. For instance, like, what I don't want in my vibe is mainly ideology based. Like, I don't want fucking fascists and racists and bigots and sexists and all the otherists and blah blah blah. Like, I don't want them anywhere near me. I want to actively fucking destroy that shit. And destroying it becomes a part of my vibe. Like, purging ugliness is a form of beauty. And I feel that when I, like, have a conversation with my grandmother and, like, get her to understand Black Lives Matter or whatever. Like, shit like that. I think, the US president is ugly. Vomit-inducing. But it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he's fat and wrinkly and has, like, strange hair and weird facial expressions. Like, I could give less of a shit. You know, ha ha ha. I don't really find any sort of joke or meme based on the physical appearance of someone to be funny. Because the physical appearance is random. It's irrelevant, unrelated completely most of the time, unless we're talking about race. In which case, you're also still criticizing a power structure, the power structure of whiteness. You're not, like, When somebody says, like, white people are ugly or white people all look the same, it doesn't really hurt us because we don't have that perception placed on us 24/7 the way other races do, and also because we're on top, right? What can they do to harm us really? And I don't say that as like, oh, white people are so powerful, guys. Like, I love being white. Oh, white, Agartha, I can't wait. I don't mean it like that at all. I mean it in a literal sense that, like, I, as a white person, have more privilege. The same way I was talking about how, like, beautiful people have more privilege. It's fine to point that out and make jokes at the expense of people above you. But again, it has very little to do with the literal fact that my skin is white. And it's more to do with the power structures that I benefit from. You know what I mean? That is generally how I categorize ugliness, like 24/7 all the time. I no longer see something and have a gut reaction of disgust. You know what I mean? Donald J. Trump is ugly to me because of the things he says and does. Because of the person he is, not because of the body he has. And when you focus on his appearance, when you're critiquing him, all you're doing is showing people that have similar traits to him, people with wrinkles, people that are overweight, people that wear toupees, it doesn't matter. You're telling them that they're ugly and disgusting. Donald Trump doesn't care. He's not hearing everything that everybody says about him online. But other people online are hearing it, and they're thinking like, oh God, I have this trait. Geez, I need to fix myself. When it's irrelevant, it's a non-issue. I critique Donald Trump because he's a rapist and a pig and an idiot and disgusting in every way in his personality. I do not care about what he looks like. I don't care about what anyone looks like. I could legit look at someone who is the most disabled person on earth, missing several limbs, missing eyes, missing facial features, scarred in a way that looks gory, acne and patches of fur, pus oozing, just like imagine the most ugly person you can. It just does not faze me. Like, I could look at that person, and if they engage me in a kind way and I can engage them in a kind way and we have a nice rapport or whatever, I can see them as beautiful. Even without any of that, again, if you look at something long enough, you will find beauty. There is like so much beauty in disfigurements and birthmarks and scars. Like, oh my God. And acne. I think acne is honestly so cool. It looks like you have like little cave stones on your face. Like, it looks awesome. It's like, if anybody like that is watching this, anybody with a noticeable disfigurement or birthmark or amputation, disability, anything that visually separates you from the mainstream appearance, I think you are gorgeous. I think you are the jewel of humanity, and I'm so real. And I know, because I had this issue with my glasses and my hair, and the way that my body carries weight since I was anorexic. I have these issues where, like, well, the shape that I am, it just doesn't fit any sort of vibe that I would like to portray. Like, say, for instance, you are an acid victim, and you are really into a cute aesthetic. There is nothing preventing you from still moving and presenting the way that you want, in a way that suits you and fits your energy levels and everything. Like, just because you have something on your body that does not match the vibe that you like most, it means nothing. You put that construct there, and you have that construct because people around you have constantly pushed down your throat that you're different. Even if you weren't literally bullied, you see in the media that you're not like other people, I know. And that makes you feel like you can't do like these fun artsy things with your presentation. But I promise you, whatever you have that makes you look strange, off-putting, different, unique, it adds to your vibe. It adds a dimension that other people can't achieve because they are not like you. You have something so special. You are like, you're like you're literally the main character. If you look at like the character designs in fucking shows, the one that stands out the most, dude, and that's you, and that is you, and you should embrace that fully. I'm not saying that ugly people have a right to aesthetics while like pretty people don't. I think that, see, this is what I mean when I word myself so bad. You can have a preferred aesthetic it cannot absorb you the way that it does for, like, people I see online. I know that I'm not the only one that sees this shit. Like, Instagram influencers, it disturbs me. To me, the clean, pristine untouchedness is ugly. It's disturbing. It's uncanny. What I mean is, no matter who you are or what you look like, you can present however you fucking want. However you fucking want. And nothing should stop you. And it shouldn't be a burden. It should be a fun thing. It should be a self-love activity to find things that represent you and use them to communicate with other people what you want to. But so many people just can't find that fine line of retaining self, the initial self that became attached to this vibe, and the vibe at the same time. People get absorbed and sucked into it. And I know it's because of the fucking, like, consumerism that runs this damn nation. And the beauty politic of it's never good enough. It's never good enough. Dude, where you were before you found this vibe that you like was good enough. During this vibe, it's good enough. After, good enough. It's always good enough, dude. The standards that you place on yourself, you are putting them there. The bars are fucking invisible, dude. I still really don't feel like I have communicated what I want to, but you know what? I've run out of words, and, yeah, but I hope this did something for somebody. Maybe. Comment if so. Would appreciate. Trying to maybe make money with this. Anyways,